Hello and welcome to Integrative Mystic. I am so delighted you have joined me today. I'm really excited to have this phenomenal guest on the show, and we are going to talk about angels with Elana Koverman. And I just want to remind you, you can find this podcast on iTunes, Spotify, mindbodyspirit.fm, and my YouTube channel, Creative Psyche Studio. We're going to have this interview as usual. We're going to take a little swim with the angels, or a little flight with the angels. There's water angels. We're going to go in different elemental dimensions with the angels today with Elana and her fantastic book. And then I'm going to pull a few cards for the week ahead, and that's going to be the show. So welcome into this space, my friend. Take a deep breath. Feel the angelic support within you and around you. Feel your multidimensional nature being in the here and now. Welcome to this sacred space. I want to give you a little bit of background about my magical angelic guest today. And then we're going to talk about her book. So Elana Koverman is a certified transformational life coach with a spiritual focus and certified infinite possibilities trainer, a teacher of many spiritual topics, including angels, law of attraction, laws of the universe, the keys to living a life you love, and has been a school psychologist for over 30 years. Thank you for your service. She has been consciously on her spiritual journey for almost 20 years, which resulted in the publications of My Gift, a book about a child who sees spirit, and 365 morning messages from the angels, daily messages to guide you to a more positive life. She is the mother of two amazing daughters and a new grandmother, congratulations, to a beautiful baby boy. She loves helping people to live a life of fulfillment and joy. Without further ado, I'd like to welcome on the show Elana Koverman. Welcome, Elana.
Thank you so much for inviting me. I'm really excited.
I'm so excited you're here. Before we started taping, Elana and I were talking about confirmations from angels, and I was just sharing with Elana this morning, I was running an errand and one of my tires was a little low on air. I pulled over to a gas station and I could not get the air mechanism to actually pump my tire full of air. It just wasn't working. And I talked to the gas station attendant. He was really nice. Nothing was working. I called on my angels, as I often do, and bada bing, bada boom, bada angel. It worked like a charm and it filled up and I was on my way. And, moments like that just, I think your rational mind, and we live in a culture where it's so easy to just, oh, it was a coincidence, rationalize it away. But the more you have these experiences, in my experience, the more your rational mind begins to cooperate and understand we are in a magical multidimensional universe. And calling on angelic support is really calling on a higher energy. Would you agree, Elena?
Absolutely, 1000%. Yeah, they are, there are many, like you said, many beings that are helping us. The main ones that I work with are the angels, and they absolutely want to help us with everything, including flat, lower air tires or what to wear in the, get dressed in the morning. That's what I've done. They want to help with everything. It doesn't matter. There's nothing too small or too big.
Yeah, it's an interesting point you brought up, and I wanted to ask you about this and your thoughts, because I have some thoughts about this. The different kinds of benevolent helpers in the non-physical realms. There's angels, there's a lot of different kinds of helpers.
Yeah.
Earth spirits, star people, star beings, also known as evolved extraterrestrials, ascended masters, saints, and other deities. There's spirit guides, interdimensional beings. There's so many types of entities out there on the inner planes. And I'm not naming all of them too, like our deceased loved ones. And there's, there's so many higher evolved entities on the inner planes. What are your thoughts, Elana, about the choice of which one to call on? Or do I just call on one? Do I leave it open? Divine source, God, spirit, help me, send me the right helper. What are your thoughts on that?
Exactly. I was just gonna say I feel, at least in my experience, um, it's a matter of what you're guided to, what feels right, what resonates with you. You may, different types may come across your experience as far as learning about them. There may be classes about them or people talk about them, and if something sparks your interest, or if you feel some kind of connection or curiosity, even in the very beginning, that's what happened to me. I honestly didn't know about all the other ones. I was taking classes. Um, Back in 2006, I started on this conscious spiritual path, and I was taking lots of different classes, and ones about the angels just really popped. It just popped for me, and there were a lot of interesting things I was learning, but that really, like, it was inspiring to me. I was very curious about it. So I just started learning more and more and more. And so that's what I think happens. I think you just, whatever resonates with you, whatever inspires you, or you just want to know more about them, or it feels right. I mean, all of this is intuition. Um, what feels right to you. That's the type that you should pursue and find out more about. As long as
I
it feels.
It feels good. I 1,000% agree, as you said. I love that. 1,000,000% agree. I also feel it's very intuitive, and what feels right is guidance for you as to what the specifics are of who you call on in your spiritual practice. And I think it's totally okay. It's more than okay. It's just as powerful to call on divine source. And you don't
Mhm.
have to call on a specific entity. You have a spirit team of including angels and spirit guides and ancestors, and they're already there to help you. And there is an idea that you need to give permission to angels in order for them to help you. You need to like open the door. I think there's different levels to doing that, and that we could do that consciously, unconsciously.
Mhm.
But it's really, you could also be general with the angels. Hey, just angels, please help me. You could call on a specific angel. I work very closely with a few specific angels every day in my practice, and working with others, and just my own spiritual practice. And I've developed that relationship based on what you just said, Ilana. What feels right to me? I've been drawn to angels ever since I was a teenager. And there's other different kinds of spirit guides and helpers that you can call upon. But I think it all goes back to there's no right or wrong answer. What feels right to you? And we're all very unique beings. And there's different kinds of energies and personalities and ways these different non-physical energies and entities help us. I'm curious, Ilana, with this book,
Mm.
what inspired you to write 365 morning messages from the angels?
Well, it's kind of I think it's a fun story, which is in the front of the book. As a school psychologist, and over the years, education has changed. And some school years have been definitely more challenging than others, especially as time has gone on. You just need to read things, and education is challenging to work in. So in the beginning of one of the school years, years ago, I just got this inspiration that we needed a pick me up. My coworkers and I work very closely with a school counselor and a school social worker. And I said, hey, how would you, like the night before school started, I said, how would you like if I just sent an inspirational text to the three of us, just to help us get, in a good vibe in the morning to get going? And they're like, yeah, we're all for it. I said, great. So I figured I would pull out a book and pick out an inspiration, message and send it off. But the next morning, I actually, I had been learning about the angels. Obviously, I'd been, working with them. I said, you know what? Other people can do this. Let me see if I can do this, kind of thing. So I just sat at the side of my bed and I said, okay, angels, what message would you like me to give? And I got something. I'm like, okay. So I sent that off and I started doing that every day. And what happened was I started sharing it with their friends. They're like, would you mind if I forward this? I'm like, no, anybody, these are for anybody. Like if people, this is going to help, great. And it ended up just snowballing. And people were sharing it with people. And I ended up every morning sending out over 60 texts, which back, I don't even know if you can do it this day, but it was limited on how many you could put in one group text, right? So I'm sitting there. I had to get up a little earlier every morning so I could make sure I had time to do this. And you can even see as the book goes, because I put them in order of what I received, and you can see the progression of them. And it was really interesting, because they were just really inspired. I was so pleasantly surprised, and it just felt really good to be sharing these. So I just continued doing it, and I said, you know what, I'm going to do this for a year because I can, I'm going to get this out on calendar. I'm going to, this kind of thing, just thinking like, people need something all year, right? And then one of the people like, can you put this like in a book? And I'm like, I don't know, like, can I? And they're like, yeah, because they're on all our texts, but we can't keep track of it. We can't keep going in our text. Can you like compile them somehow? So I did. And that's how it happened. And totally guided by the angels, I know. They helped me all along the way. And I just gave what I received. I didn't,
Oh my God.
change anything. Just, yeah, a lot of times it ended up becoming, images, and then they would, at first it was just like these words. Like the first one is all is well. Like just all is well. Everything is fine, you know. And then I started getting images, and some of them are fun and silly, and like about a dump truck, like dump your stuff. And then, but they've just, and since then, I have people tell me that they have it by their bedside table, or they just read one a night or one a morning, or some people read it from front to back. That's what my mom did. She just read it front to back. And then the people, just open it up when they need to, and just get a message, whatever they want. So
Love your
it's
story.
been really wonderful.
What an amazing story. It's your process is so fascinating to me. It's so natural and innocent and yet magical and
Mm,
mystical and amazing. It started as a spontaneous, let me just try this following my gut here, and it gains momentum and people are responding to it, and you're developing this channel and this connection, and people can really feel that angelic guidance coming through, and it like created its own little channel with the text, and then it evolves into the book. It kind of created its own way of unfolding. That's such a beautiful process. Thank you for sharing that, and the about this book. And I love these messages. They're simple yet really powerful.
mm.
I'll read a few.
Oh, great.
These are the ones we need to hear today. Be honest with yourself. Dig deep for those messages that you repeat to yourself. Are they healthy? When you feel that things aren't going your way, do not give up your power or energy to others, but rather take an aerial view of your life and be grateful for what you see. Follow your inner knowing and let go of what does not serve you. Only you know what is right for you. Put the intention of love into everything you give, material or not. It will be better received and reciprocated. I really believe that. Our bodies are, I love this one. Our bodies are talking to us emotionally and physically. Find out what it is saying and listen for a healthy and joyful life. All you can be is yourself. Just be conscious of what that is. Rituals and habits bring us comfort. Make them good ones. I'll read one more. Ooh, I love this one. This is a great one to end on. Growth is a process. Taking little steps at first can lead to great things. Oh my goddess, that reminds me of the story of how you wrote this book. Taking little steps at first can lead to great things. That one step of trusting your gut. I'm just going to try this. Other people can do it. Let me see if I can, channel an angelic message. And bada bing, bada boom, bada angel. Here we go. Thank you, angels.
Yeah, yeah, it was fun. It's been fun. It's been wonderful. Been a wonderful experience, and I'm so appreciative that it's helping people even today. I mean, it's because they're these messages, they're timeless, really. I mean, angels know what people need, and
Yeah,
so they're just as good now as they were when I first published them.
they're timeless.
Yeah.
And you teach an intro to angels class,
Mhm.
and you educate people about the angels, about how to work with angels. And I'm wondering, Elana, how would you describe the difference between angels and other entities? We were talking a little bit about that earlier, but how would you describe, since you are an angel expert, the unique entity of the angel compared to, say, an ascended master or an earth spirit or an elemental or what have you?
Mm. Um, hmm. Um, well, since I know more about the angels than the others, I have to be honest about that. I do know some about the others, but they're not my specialty. Um, but what I have come to understand is that angels are they're pure love. They're pure unconditional love. And not that other ones aren't, but they're almost I've heard them. I'm not sure I agree, but I don't know a better word. It's just it's a simple, they're very they're like, just love is going to heal everything, and they see things. They don't judge us. They don't um, believe that we're less, like we do. And again, this is very hard because I think a lot of other entities are like that also. But this is who they are, like, completely. Like, they
Yeah,
don't ever give up on us. They never judge us. They know that we have way more potential than we are, um, than we give ourselves. And they see the bigger picture. And again, I feel like this is a lot like many others, so I'm not really sure how they're different, but they are definitely different. They're their own, um, uh, I don't know what the right word is, honestly. It's a feeling I have
yeah.
more than anything else. I don't know how to describe it. It's more about this full, full, full unconditional love.
I have a very similar feeling, Ilana, and I think I would describe angels very similarly to how you describe them in my experience with them as well. They feel like a very pure, innocent
Yes.
kind of, and I think simple is not an inappropriate word.
Yeah.
There's metaphysical theories and ideas about angels and how they were created by source to help humans. At least the way we conceptualize angels in the West, I would agree with that. And an entity that was whose purpose is to help us and who's never been human for the most part. Some people believe a few angels have been human and evolved into an angel. I have mixed
Mhm.
feelings about that, but for the most part, they have not been human. They have been always um, this in angelic form, and
Mhm.
I think that is very different than, say, an ascended master who was a human, or a bodhisattva, a human who evolved to such an advanced level
Right.
that she was able to be given the role and the privilege to help humanity and function as a high level spirit guide for humanity. That entity has been a human and has a personality still, in my experience and opinion. And a personality is not, or being human is not a bad thing, but that's a very different
Different.
experience and way to be wired or way to experience the world, and a very different history for evolution. And my understanding is angels don't really evolve, but other races of beings and species of beings and what have you do evolve. And it feels very different to me, the angelic energy. I feel exactly what you're saying, Elana. It's unconditional love. I feel the support, and I feel a lot of angels are here to help us bridge with and develop how to work with earth energy, how to work with cosmic energy, how to work with our own energy. And someone like maybe a shaman or a druid or a Wiccan might work more directly with earth energy and or elemental energy. And some people in some traditions might call on an angel to help them connect with elemental energy, as just kind of an example for how I feel like the angelic support is sometimes different from the other kinds of energies and entities that a human might work with, that are benevolent, that are helpful, that are heart-centered, but on a different dimension. And so I've always been attracted to working with the angels, but I do feel like it's funny. In some instances, I feel like this is a time when I really want to call on an angel or the angels or, my angels. And
Mhm.
sometimes I feel like, what, this is a time when I really want to call on other spirit guides or, um, just divine source or, my spirit team or, a specific different kind of spirit helper. And it's so beautiful that there's such a range, and I think it's kind of like the angelic attitude. There's no, it's all, we're all one, it's all divine love on the highest level of understanding and reality. And so it really kind of on one level doesn't matter, you know but I think it's really, I love feeling the angelic energy, and I love being able to feel the different. Oh, we seem to be having some technical difficulties with the recording here. I'm just going to keep talking, and I think Elana will be able to hop back on. But I'll finish what I'm saying. I love feeling the different personalities and the different kinds of paradigms, the different kinds of ways that angels help us, other kinds of spirit entities help us. And I just love the variety and the mixture. It's like having a group of friends and appreciating that they're not all the same, that some are, you know, maybe they're a little bit intense. And
Oop,
welcome back, Ilana.
I got kicked out. Zoom got kicked me out. I'm back. I'm back.
Angels, please help us with Zoom. Zoom, if you have an angel,
Because it was taking a while. I'm like, come on, angels. And then boom, it came on.
boom, you on. But I was just saying, Ilana, I was speaking just to the angels as you were gone, and the people listening and tuning in. I was saying it's kind of like, with the angels and the other kinds of deceased loved ones and ancestors and spirit guides out there, that it's kind of like having a group of friends and having,
Mhm.
one like really, innocent, sweet friend, and one who's like a little bit intense, and one who's really funny, and one who's, really grounded and earthy. And you love the difference between all of them, and the difference makes you appreciate them more. And, there are differences within angels, of course, but I just wanted to say I appreciate, the particular angelic vibe.
Yes, and it is interesting because when I first started learning about angels, I laugh at myself about it now, but I was like, oh, these are like these stoic, beautiful, loving, no, they all have their personality too, and it's people who can, people sense and can communicate differently with angels depending on their own, and strongest intuitive type of, ability. But and I should say, you do not have to have any special abilities to work with angels to have any kind of communication with them. You figure out which one works best for you. But in doing that, you can, call on different ones depending on what's going on, but we all have our guardian angel, and then there's a whole bunch of other angels that you can call on. But they do have different personalities, and I know some people who can just sense, which one, like if it's Archangel Michael or if it's Archangel Raphael, different energy. And so if they may be able to sense that and be able to tell which, and some people can see, or so there's different ways, and you just figure out what works best for you. Me, it's writing with them. That's what I've been doing more mostly now. Even though I talk to them all the time, and I'm constantly talking to them. But yeah, it's just interesting that the different personalities. And one thing you said before I just want to jump on is you can work with a specific one, like for healing, if you want to call an Archangel Raphael, great. And sometimes I will do that. Sometimes I will pick and choose, but I'm like you, I'm like, hey, angels, whoever would like to help me with this, I'm open to it. I'm not picky. You don't need, there is one to great, but it's not necessary.
You're cutting out a little bit, Ilana, but
Oh,
I heard most of what
sorry.
you said, and I was going to ask you, for our listeners, by the way, I went to the dentist this morning to get a cleaning, and afterwards I did get a headache. I don't know, is all that like vibration on my teeth? They polish your teeth. And I did receive a healing in my meditation, but I still had my spirit guides and angels just came in and gave me a healing without even me asking, as often happens, which is amazing. But
Mm-hmm.
I still had a little bit of a headache, so I called on Archangel Raphael. I feel like I should share this because you just shared it. And I called on Archangel Raphael and I said, please, please heal this headache. Thank you for healing this headache. And you know what? The headache is gone. So I just wanted to share that. I also wanted to share, I think I feel when you call on an angel or any higher entity, you're calling on an actual discrete entity other than yourself from a, higher dimension. And you're also calling on your own inner angel, your own higher consciousness. We're all one. And so calling on the angels helps you develop your own qualities that the angels model for us, in my opinion. So I just wanted to slip that in there. More evidence and confirmation. The angels are around us. Ilana, tell us, someone who wants to work with the angels, they don't know where to begin. They know they want to work with the angels. And it's okay if you repeat a little bit of what you said, because I think that was golden, writing it down. And there's different ways of working with them. What advice would you give someone who wants to begin working with the angels and doesn't know where to begin?
Okay. Yes. There is a lot to that question, because there's no wrong way. There is, whatever you're called to do is right, first of all. The first thing I tell everybody is fully believe. As much as we want to believe, a lot of times, not everybody, some people have full 100% faith, and that's amazing. I did not in the beginning. And so it's really, really important to actually believe they're there, and just start talking to them, just start asking them for things. Like I said, it doesn't have to be anything like I asked them, on my way somewhere, hey, you want to help me get a good parking space? You want to help me, when I'm frustrated in the morning because I didn't pick out what I was going to wear the night before and I'm rushed, and I'm like, wait a minute, angels, can you, just help me, find something that I'll feel good in and that's quick and I can get out the door. Within seconds, I'm pulling something out. I'm like, oh yeah, of course I have this, kind of thing. And it sounds trivial, and it sounds like, oh well, you don't waste, I don't want to waste the angels' time on these things, but it's not like that at all. They want to help make life easier. They want life to flow for us. They want, these little things that are frustrations don't need to be frustrations. I mean, it's also how we respond. There's that whole thing, but they want to help with everything to make our life more joyous and just happier and easy flowing. So that's the first thing, is just believe and just start asking for help. Now there's different ways that you can, again, you can communicate with them. um, you can just ask and just see whatever, happens. That's a great place to start. That's how I started. What I also, another little thing which I found fascinating was, I used to see people with angels everywhere, and I'm like, oh, why do they have angels everywhere? And they're really into angels. Okay, they like them, that's nice. But then I realized, having even one little angel somewhere, it's an anchor for us. It's a reminder, because how often we will forget to even ask, right?
Yes.
So one of the early things I did was I started putting angels around, and I went even as far as to get a tattoo, but that's me. um, but there, just put angels around to help you to remember they're there, because it's not a habit, in the pattern of not asking. You want to get into a pattern of asking and having a habit of asking, and believing they're there. And also, a very important piece is to say thank you after you ask, and to let it go, and don't keep repeatedly asking, because that keeps you in the energy of not having whatever it is that you have, and that makes it more difficult for them to connect with you. Vibration is very important when working with the angels. It's not impossible to work with the angels if your vibration is lower, but the higher vibration, they're very high vibrational beings, very vibrational beings. So obviously, the better we feel, the easier it is. But of course, they will try to help, and they will help no matter what energy you're in. Um, Kind of jumping around, because I said there's so much. I was going somewhere with that. But,
That's great advice.
yeah,
Just
and
start asking. Yeah. And
yeah, and there
visual.
was something else I was saying, but I don't remember where I was going with it. Like I said, there's so much to, you know, to have it, and just have fun with it. I mean,
Yeah.
honestly, just have fun with it.
I think that's
Yeah.
really great advice. And it's a reminder for me um, to just don't forget to ask, you know,
Hmm.
don't forget to ask.
Oh,
Um,
the thankful. I'm sorry. That was where I was going. I just want to, sorry, I just want to
okay.
make sure you explain that. Thank you isn't for the angels. They don't need the thank you. It's not a polite thing. It's nothing like that. But gratitude is on the same vibration as abundance. And so when we are in a grateful vibration, we are more apt to allow things in that the angels are guiding us to, or putting in our path, or that kind of thing. So the gratitude is very important for us, because we want to be in much of a gratitude appreciation type of vibration as much as possible, which we're human, we're not going to be there all the time. But when we ask for something, really feel the gratitude of that happening, and that'll help them to help you.
I love that. And I feel grateful that you came on the show today, Elon.
I'm really grateful to be here.
I just
I
want to
so
mention something for the listeners really quick. If you're interested in a more deep dive into the archangels, I did an archangel series on this podcast. So check that out, where I communed with each archangel and did a show about it. Ilana, tell us about this other fantastic book that you wrote. I'm pulling up the title right now. My Gift, a book about a child who sees spirit.
Yes, real quick. This is a children's book. I published this first. This I know the angels gifted to me, because I just woke up in the middle of the night one night with this exactly how it is. I ran into the bathroom so I wouldn't wake up my husband at the time. Oh, I should say also real quick, both of my books are under Elana White, Whyte. I haven't republished them. I've since the publications I have been divorced. So I do go by Elana Koverman. My website, everything is under Elana Koverman, but I haven't republished the books. So you will find them under Elana White, just because for clarity, because I know it's a little confusing. But yeah, so this book is a children's book that I was inspired to write. My father illustrated. And it's a beautiful springboard for parents to talk with their children about any experiences they might be having about seeing spirit. Could be angels, could be past loved ones, could be anything. Talking about all these interdimensional beings. but it just helps. It's also just a fun story. I've had people who their kids are not having experiences, and it's just they just enjoyed reading the story. But it's been very helpful to be able to talk about maybe experiences a lot of children have and are afraid of.
And for the child and the child who's had
Mhm.
spiritual, mystical, psychic experiences, and for the parent to have some help and support too from them both.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I've had adults actually to help. Some one of the teachers I work with said to me, she goes, "Oh yeah, I'm so glad that I had your book because I had this really strange experience and I did what you said to do in the book and I felt so much better." I'm like, "Oh, great." So it helps all ages, I guess. But yeah, it's a very important project of mine that I just feel like we really need to support the children in these gifts that they have, because they definitely, a lot of children are scared and alone with it because they don't understand, and parents don't understand. There are a lot of parents that are understanding more and more. I think it's more open now, just like the angels. People are working more with the angels now, so it's just really important to give as much information and support for the kids as possible. And I always, in every class I give about the angels, one of the things at the end I say, please, please, please share about the angels with the children, because it can actually help avoid any kind of mental health issues, like anxiety, depression. Because one of the wonderful things about working with angels is that it helps you don't feel alone. You're
Yeah.
not alone, and that's what helped me. That really helped me. And um and children can call on them, and if it's a natural thing and it's not something strange or weird, because they're there, and they may even be connecting with them in some way more than we realized.
Mhm.
So just sharing everything about the angels with children as young as possible, it can really, really be helpful for them to just grow and progress, happier and more
You-
fulfilled.
I love it. Multi-talented, angelic school psychologist, author.
Yeah, all my stuff kind of,
Tell people,
yeah.
what's that?
All my stuff comes together. It's funny how that happens, right? You notice that it's like all these pieces of my life experiences, they come together, and it's
Yes,
it's magical. It really
it
has.
is magical, and I can relate to that. And I love how you shared the different pieces just a little bit today. Ilana, tell folks where they can get this angelic, mystical, magical, inspiring book and the other book that you just told us about.
They're both on Amazon. You can get them on Amazon, easy, and or through my website, which actually, will go to Amazon also. But my website, if the link is there. It's an easier way to get to them.
Great. And
Um,
so the titles of the books are 365 Morning Messages from the Angels, Daily Messages to Guide You to a More Positive Life, and
and the other one is My Gift, a book about a child who sees spirit.
they're both under Ilana, Elana White, Whyte. And even though your name is now legally Elana Koverman, tell folks tuning in where they can visit you online and get a hold of you and also order these books, which
Yeah,
you said it goes through Amazon, but you can also go
yeah.
through your
Yeah,
website.
it's easy. Yeah, you can just go right to my website. Yeah, it's very simple. It's elanakoverman.com is my website, and on there are the books, just more about what I do. Also, you can anybody can sign up for my email list. I will say right now, I'm not doing much with the emails, so you're not going to be bombarded with emails. My plan is in the near future, I'm going to be sending out some inspirational emails, just events that I'm being a part of, or other things that I think might be helpful. Maybe shared guests of other people, what they're doing. But as of right now, I'm not sending out very much, so you won't get. But if you'd like to get on the list for when I start doing that, you just sign up right on my website.
Go on over, Ilana Koverman. Do you want to spell Koverman for folks?
Sure, it's KOV as in Victor, ERMAN. And actually, Elana, because a lot of people spell that wrong too, it's ELANA. So elanakoverman.com.
Ilana, I want to thank you so much for coming on my show. I learned about the angels. I loved learning about your process. I feel inspired to connect even more with the angels, and I just feel inspired by, how this book unfolded, and your connection with the angels. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you so much for inviting me. I mean, this is what they want me to do. They want me to share, and they just want more people to know they're there, ask, and don't feel bad. There's nothing too small, and there's plenty of them. You're not taking any angels from anybody else. There's more than enough angels to go around. So just ask them for every aspect of your life, and they will be so excited to help.
Ask and you shall receive. Cliche warning. Ilana, thank you again so much.
Thank you so much.
Bye. And now it's time for our tarot reading for the week ahead, looking at the collective energy for the week of July 14th, 2024. Shuffling some cards here, tuning into the collective energy of the week ahead. Oh, we got a few man, woman overboard. Oh, Ace of Cups, Six of Wands. Somebody likey. Yes. Okay. So this energy coming out for the upcoming week, I feel like we're being offered help and guidance to overcome obstacles and see things from a new perspective. I feel like we've got a full moon coming up this week. Mercury is going retrograde a little later this month. We're entering the storm of Mercury retrograde. My astrology people let me know. Getting down to the nitty-gritty details this week, I feel like, is one strength, one gift this week offers. And offering ourselves more support. The sun is changing into the sign of Cancer. Excuse me, from the sign of Cancer to the sign of Leo, in just a week here. So we're in the final days of Cancer, and Cancer is about nurturing others, nurturing ourselves. So this is a great week to do what you need to do to really nurture yourself. Okay, so I've got Eight of Cups, Ace of Wands, Lovers, and Five of Pentacles, Five of Pentacles, and then the Ace of Cups and the Six of Wands that wanted to fall out. Okay, so that's interesting. We've got the Wands with the Six and the Ace. We've got the Ace of Cups and the Lovers. So there's some love in the air, some relationshipy stuff happening here. So I feel like with the spread for this week, it's a good week to assess your pacing and don't give up if you have. So assess your pacing and check in if you're moving too fast, moving too slow, or you're kind of all over the place. I kind of have been with my just the rhythm of my day, the rhythm of my emotions and will and actions. I've kind of been go really fast and then like hurry up and wait. So I feel like the energy for this week might be hurry up and wait, or it might be that you energetically notice in how you're thinking, the rhythm of your day, what you're trying to get accomplished. The pacing could use a little bit of tweaking. So look at your pace. Are you trying to do too many things, at once? Are you kind of stagnant? Adjust your pace. But I feel like this is a message that's coming out for this week. There might be some obstacles, but we have the divine support. We have the inner genius. We have the community of resources and support available to us to overcome these challenges. And I feel like the Lovers and the Ace of Cups suggest using help and support and mobilizing a sense of love, both giving love and receiving love, opens doors to prosperity and abundance, love, success, vitality. So don't look don't look at a setback as a setback. Look at it as an opportunity to create something even better. This week, you might be looking at different options and choices, and understand how to ground yourself as you imagine different choices coming to your imagination, opening to you. Stay grounded as you investigate different choices and options for how you might move forward. And with the Five of Pentacles, I'm just going to pull a clarifying card for this guy. For the Five of Pentacles, it might be also a week where you keep some plans to yourself and where you're biding your time. In other words, you don't go full throttle with everything, with everyone, sort of keeping some energy protected. So it could be money, ideas, resources, your, secrets, the truth. Magician is the clarifying card for this. So I feel like the Five of Pentacles and the Magician want us to keep moving forward with our goals, even if you don't see them completely unfolding to fruition this week. If you have people and opinions around you who seem to be not in alignment with those goals, keep moving forward. If its appearances can be deceiving, so I feel like that's a message too, is, with any obstacles that come up, or with, you're having a lot of choices maybe presented to you, or multiple choices, to understand that you protecting that vision and you protecting your faith and belief in your dreams and what know, the best you can do to understand is your soul's desire. Hold true to that, and you can work through any external problems here. I'm going to pull a Star Seed Oracle card. Karmic relationships, Orion energy, polarity, soul growth, conflict, and I'm sorry, defenselessness, righting past wrongs, uprooting. So there might be an opportunity this week as well to set new motion in set new progress in motion for mending relationships, for clearing out some karma, for maybe it almost feels like soul retrieval. We might have an opportunity this week to retrieve some of our energy that we have given away, or that was disconnected, that we are disconnected from part of ourselves. We're able to reintegrate that, retrieve those lost parts of our soul. In reality, our soul can never be lost, but the illusion that our soul has been disconnected from part of itself, you'll be able to, you have opportunities to reunite externally, perhaps with some people, to renegotiate some conflicts or iron out some little kinks in the energy flow there, and feel realigned with a flow externally and internally. And how do we do that? Well, align yourself with what you know to be true, which is we are divine love in action, in embodied. And we are the expressions of this divine love in the here and now. When you know that, when you embody it, not just like say it, but embody it, it naturally shifts things in your life. And you can see that externally and internally. So remind yourself, my dear, you are loved. You are love. You are an expression of the most holy. And this is the highest awareness, and integrating the different parts of yourself, understanding this higher awareness is what it's all about. I hope you have a beautiful, blessed week, my friend. Thank you so much for tuning in. Wasn't that a great interview with Elana Koverman? She's such a cool angel expert and author and teacher. So I hope you connect with the angels this week, and I will see you next group video or session. Take care.